Jimmy D here, and today we're going to look at a problem almost every company has. Employees can't always find the information they need when they need it. Then I'm going to show you how NoodleNet BASIC can turn a pile of company documents into one simple place where employees can ask questions and get useful answers. Let me start with a problem I ran into when I was working for an ERP company. I was trying to become an expert in the product, but the information I needed was scattered everywhere. Some of it was current, some of it was outdated, and sometimes the only people who knew the difference were the ones that had been there forever. So getting a simple answer was rarely simple. Today, I want to show you what it could look like if an employee had one place to go, could ask a simple question in normal language, and get a useful answer based on the company's own knowledge. And this is where NoodleNet BASIC comes in. Instead of asking the employee to search through folders, remember file names, learn another portal, or track down that one person who knows the answer, NoodleNet gives them one simple place to ask a question using normal language. It helps them find the right information, but it does more than just pull up a document. It can explain the answer in a way that makes sense for that employee and at their level of experience. It also shows where the answer came from, so employees can verify it for themselves. And when the information is outdated, unclear, or conflicting, NoodleNet can flag that instead of pretending everything is fine. The company still owns the documents and the knowledge. NoodleNet just makes that knowledge much easier for the employees to actually use. All right, let's do a live demo. So I'm going to log in as the administrator. And that means it's also profile based. So you can have accounts that are admin level or user level. You can have multiple accounts. You can also see that this is an AIOS environment, meaning not only is it AIOS, but also it's a familiar environment. It's a desktop type environment where you can, of course, find out what applications are available to you and which LLM models are being used, whether it's a local model, which you can use by itself, don't have to have a cloud model. But if you use the cloud model, it will improve the answers you get. But remember, NoodleNet BASIC always uses your local documents as the source of truth. The only thing that the cloud model does is that it just improves how it delivers the answer. And of course, you have the ability to log out or grab the help engine to find out a little bit more about what you're trying to do. So first, we're going to get into the Ask Engine. The Ask Engine, of course, is where you can ask any of those questions that you've been dying to get an answer for. Think about it this way. Imagine an employee at work, and they're just sitting there trying to learn through things. They're going through documents. They're going through information. They want to ask a question, but maybe that manager isn't around, or they're just kind of hesitant at first. Well, they can ask it here. So let's do that here. Can I give a 20% discount? I asked a question and it's going to go through the local documents and tell me in a way that maybe an advisor or one of the trainees or the enablement team would give them an answer. On top of that, it's going to give me where that came from, the source of the information. So I can go back, even click on it and go back and find out more about that. It's even going to give me some follow-up questions to get in there and dig into a little bit deeper. Now, how do you manage all of this? How do you get that information? Well, there's a couple of ways. First off, you can upload it here through the interface. So I can upload here. I can create folders. Remember that every time you upload a document, you want to refresh it. But there is an automation of this, and I'm going to show you here. It's important. It actually explains why an AIOS environment is so important. You can also get it as a shared directory on your network. So you can just load them into that document folder and it'll, of course, pick them up daily. And you can manage and see which files you have in your folders. We also have an overview section that gives you a general idea of how things are performing in your Ask environment. Now, remember how I sat there and said that this is an AIOS environment? Well, we have things called plays. They're in the playbook, and those plays can operate every day. As you can see here, it updates itself. So if you throw those knowledge documents into that folder, it's going to update that without having to click that refresh button. And under the admin section, you have all the abilities to do those things that you would expect to do, like give your company information, add users and define their permissions, generate security. Like any of the plays that I just showed you, they can have a security level. So some, like at a low risk, it just runs by itself. I have them all set at low risk right now, but I can do a medium risk, meaning that I want to be alerted if there is an external action, like it goes out to grab information and change something internally. Or I can give it a high risk, saying I don't want it to do anything. I want to be alerted first, and those alerts get sent to the owner's email in this version of it. In the more NoodleNet Pro version, it's far more deeper than that. But here in this situation, it gets sent to the administrator's email. And we have a log review where it keeps track of everything that was running at any given time. As you can see here, the refresh ask, it runs every morning at 9 a.m. And of course, we have system review and settings. And under system review and settings, well, it's going to, of course, give you an idea of how your system's performing, what's available to you, but you can also change things like which LLMs you're using. You can change the schedule or see what's happening during any time. See, as you can see here, I can see that at 9 a.m., the refresh ask play gets done. I said that there was multiple ways that you can, of course, get to the interface, or at least get to the information. And one of them is the Chrome plugin. So all you have to do is you have it installed on your Chrome browser, click ask, and it's going to give you the same information. So imagine this as a junior employee. He or she wants to ask that question, but maybe they're a bit hesitant, or it's hard to find, or it's difficult. We don't want to limit them. We want to give them that flexibility, and it's relatively easy for us to do that. Or what if they're at home at night and they're VPN'd in and they still want to get this information? They want to ask somebody, but boy, they can't. Nobody's around. All they have to do is click here and ask, and they get that information without any question. But don't just take my word for it. Finding the right information inside your company is often harder than it should be. Matter of fact, a Microsoft Work Lab survey said that 48% of employees say their work feels chaotic and fragmented. 62% struggle with information searching. And a Panopto workplace study said 5.3 hours were lost every week because company knowledge is trapped in people's heads. And that's what NoodleNet BASIC solves. It gives your employees a much easier way to ask questions, understand company information, and see where that answer came from without digging through folders or tracking down that one employee who just knows everything. NoodleNet BASIC is free to download and runs locally on your environment. You can get it at noodlenetbasic.com.